Move over plastic straws. Europe wants to ban single-use plastics in produce. What? Okay, so the European Union just announced a new measure that will ban plastic packaging for fruits and vegetables under 1.5 kilograms. For all of you not in Europe, that's 3.3 pounds. And when you think about it, there's a lot of produce that's sold that is under 3.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, these restrictions are set to go into effect in 2030. So we got 5 years to figure it out. But it's interesting because some trade groups, specifically the Spanish Federation of Association of Producers and Exporters of Fruits, Vegetables, Flowers, and Plants, that's the longest name possible,
I love those guys.
right? I don't even know, like, like there's not even a good, like,
No,
abbreviation there.
no.
So they support the idea of reducing plastic, waste. But their concerns about the new rule is that it doesn't account for food packaging that guarantees quality, safety, and basically just transporting it.
Yeah.
And so other countries like Spain have a similar rule where they introduced a ban in 2023. So, and there's lots of different US states that are trying to do bans on these single use plastics in the produce section. But, I just don't know how this works. Okay. Now, I know you can buy tomatoes in like a plastic clamshell where you get like three or four tomatoes. And I've seen those replaced with like little cardboard. They look
Yeah,
all
the little
like
cartons.
homes,
The little
you know?
green cartons. Yeah.
Yeah. But so how do you replace a bag on celery? Like you would just sell the celery by itself without the bag, obviously. But
Yeah.
what about a bag of kale, a bag of spinach? How are you going to what is it going to look like to purchase spinach in a grocery store?
So kale I get because like it's kind of like chard where they use the little twisty tie to put them
Mhm.
together in a bunch. So that makes sense. That one's cool.
Well,
That's
like I'm talking
like
about the bags of like chopped kale.
oh the chopped kale. I usually don't see a lot of chopped kale. Spinach I could see being
Spinach,
problematic for sure. And I'm not buying in any scenario to ever exist 3.3 pounds of spinach ever,
right?
ever.
I love spinach and I can eat like a ton of it,
Yeah.
but I highly doubt it's coming anywhere near 3.3 pounds because even the big bag is like 10 ounces.
I kind of appreciate them not doing the single plastic on celery because we've talked about how much waste that creates because of irregular
Because if
size.
it doesn't fit in the bag, so maybe this would change their aesthetic standards to where you
Yeah.
could actually buy the bigger celery, so that could actually be beneficial.
Yeah.
But
But
okay,
so I've actually been in markets in France because we went to Nice last year. God, it's only been a year. It feels like four. But the you'd go and you'd buy little containers of like blueberries and strawberries and things like that. And it was the little cardboard containers that we were talking about. They're slitted, but they're not like open.
styrofoam or plastic, yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, and
yeah,
actually,
they're
France introduced a ban on plastic packaging for most fruits and vegetables back in 2022.
yeah, which is why it was probably all orchestrated that way. But it was like, and if it didn't have a bag, like you had a bin that you would pick what you wanted from it. So if you wanted a couple of peppers, you'd pick up a couple of peppers. If you wanted, and a lot of people bring their own bags, like it's just a part of the culture now. So
Well, and
it's
I think that's what's
pretty
going
neat.
to have to happen. There's going to have to be a culture change because
Mhm.
right now, if I'm picking out like an open container of strawberries and I put it in my cart and then it's like falling all over the place and then you got to put it in my bag and then you know what I mean, my strawberries
Yeah,
are going to be beat to heck by the time I get home,
yeah,
you know? So I get where this, growers association is like, well, part of it is quality and safety and just transporting it.
yeah. Maybe
So,
there's exceptions for things like strawberries, um, that are. I
I mean,
think it
think
all
about
depends.
grapes. Grapes come in a bag.
Yeah. Yeah, they usually come in their own little. Well, I hate those plastic bags, to be honest. They're can't recycle them. They suck. But like they do help transport and they help keep additional moisture out of the bag and they do keep them all wrangled together and not graping all over the place. So
What about things like potatoes?
yeah, potatoes
They
I've bought individually though without a bag.
Right, but if I'm buying 5 pounds of potatoes, I don't want to just, pick out 16 potatoes and have them loose in my cart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even
Yeah.
like apples or oranges. They're going to be bouncing all over the place, getting
Yeah.
bruised. I mean, there's a reason they're in the bags.
Yeah. I like well, and if you're buying larger quantities, like apples and potatoes and things like that, usually come in 3 to 5 pound bags.
Yeah.
So in those cases, you're definitely still getting the assembly of it all. I think you're looking at like I think the celery one is a good point. Like that's one that's counterintuitive and
Yeah.
actually can negatively affect farmers. So like that one I'm happy to see go. Bye.
Yeah.
Like carrots in a bag, I don't necessarily like there's certain things I can see being problematic and other things that I think would be perfectly acceptable.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms come in a little plastic,
Yeah.
with a little plastic on top. So I'm just gonna have mushrooms flinging all over my grocery cart willy nilly, mixing with all my other stuff. I mean, I get that mushrooms are fun guys, but I don't want them, flinging all over my cart.
Sprouts used to have them and you could put them in a brown paper bag and actually keep them safer because you didn't have the accumulating moisture inside the package.
Okay, so then actually that's not a bad idea. So now I would be able to go to the grocery store, get a brown paper bag,
Mhm.
pick out the absolute best strawberries there are with no squishy spots, put
Mhm.
them in a bag, weigh them, whatever. So actually, this is not necessarily a bad plan. And then maybe I could stop buying the 5 pound bags of grapes because if you go up to the grape, section,
It's a small fortune in grapes because they're three
I
dollars a pound, and like every
like you
bag
can't
is
even
three
close the
pounds.
bag because it's so full. They've shoved them all in there.
I
I'm just
usually
thinking
grab
maybe if
another
I
bag.
had to put them in a brown paper bag, I could actually just buy 1 pound,
Mhm.
even though I think my kids will eat more than that, but I don't want to pay more than like a pound, pound and a half's worth.
Well, and my kid's like she's picky about her grapes. She likes the crunchy grapes, which I understand completely. So if you buy too many grapes and they end up getting soft, and then she doesn't want to eat them anyway. So like, I'm buying what I need as I need it instead of an entire pound of strawberries where we may only eat half a pound
I
because my
have
kid likes to
seen
cycle through.
some places like Walmart now offer a 5 ounce container of strawberries.
Hmm, okay.
So
What's the price per pound on that though?
oh,
Because
it's
then I
very
start,
high. It's not worth it at all. But if you were a single person or a senior and you didn't want a whole pound,
yeah,
it definitely would come in handy there. But so I think in order for this to really work and to be effective and not piss everybody off, there
yeah.
would really have to be a culture change. So tell us down below what fruit or vegetable or produce item would you be concerned about not having a plastic container because I'm sure that we missed, some that's just kind of hard to understand. So let us know down below what, fruit and vegetable in plastic may be a problem with this.